Parkop says NCD is pandemic ready. ICCC cautions businesses against price hikes. And Sepik border provinces stand united.
This is National MTV News with Jeremy Mogi.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Thursday's news. A casual post by Prime Minister James Marape on Facebook at 7:49 p.m. last night ended an intense 8 hours of drama as Papua New Guinea learned the test results from the probable COVID-19 case, which came back negative. It all started when Health Minister Jelta Wong released a statement just before lunchtime yesterday announcing a probable case involving an expatriate mine worker who arrived in Papua New Guinea on March the 13th and travelled to Lae from Port Moresby.
The statement released by Minister Wong said the individual developed a fever and flu-like symptoms and had to be isolated and quarantined, while samples were sent to the Institute of Medical Research in Goroka for testing. As news of the probable case went out, more Papua New Guineans became concerned and were anticipating the outcome of the test. At 5 p.m. yesterday, when media personnel contacted the health department to comment on the test results, they were told the official announcement will be made by the health minister today. However, just before 8 p.m. last night, the results were casually posted on Prime Minister James Marape's Facebook page, announcing the results came back negative. Few minutes after, the health minister released a statement saying, "We are pleased to announce that as of 2000 hours tonight, the COVID-19 case presented in Morobe province on 14th March has returned with negative results." Hours later, the Octady Mining Limited also announced that 3 suspected COVID-19 cases reported in Tabubil also came back negative. OTML said the company has put in place preventative measures that include the exemption and cancellation of chartered international flights, and the mine's hospitals have stocked up on swab kits and other general medications, with quarantined facility arrangements in place. Foreign Affairs Minister Patrick Purites hosted a diplomatic briefing with members of the diplomatic community. The briefing, which provided an update on the actions taken by the PNG government, saw several members of the diplomatic mission pledge their support to assist PNG government in its efforts to prevent the coronavirus. Thekla Gunga, National MTV News.
The impacts of COVID-19 on the global economy is expected to hit the country hard, which may result in an increase in prices of goods and services. However, business houses in the country have been advised not to take advantage of the situation to increase prices of goods. Commissioner of the Independent Consumer and Competition Commission, Paulus Ain, says this will affect consumers and the country's efforts to contain the virus. The commissioner made this announcement in a media conference this morning.
According to Commissioner Paulus Ain, ICCC has announced several price reductions recently on many regulated services consistent with government directions. These include an average reduction of regulated port services by 7%, including fuel prices. However, they are concerned about the potential impact of COVID-19, as it has the potential to impact prices of goods and services.
ICCC is our view that it is a commercial robbery, and the ICCC will consider necessary actions. PNG has laws preventing price gouging of necessity, such as fuel, toilet papers, tissues, bottled waters during any stage of emergency such as this.
In recent days, people have been seen purchasing goods in bulk in shops in the city. This has seen a decrease in some products like hand sanitizers and face masks, among others. The commissioner appealed to all business houses to put in place restrictions for people buying goods in bulks. He said this is to ensure the limited supplies are fairly distributed to the consumers.
You have limited supply, and those that who are coming in to purchase bulk should attempt to restrict so that you have available supply for the next line of clients or consumers who are coming in, instead of giving everything away. So that is an appeal to the business community as well, that we also need to be mindful about the spread of consumers you have, so the limited supply can also be distributed fairly to the community rather than to a certain group of people or business houses.
Commissioner Ain further assured the people not to panic. He said should there be a shortage of food supplies in the country, the people can always depend on garden food.
They should not be panicking about food, because we have our local food that is available. So when we realize that shops are running out, it's better to fall back to our normal garden food, so we can continue to rely and live our life, our normal life.
The commissioner further challenged all citizens to work together to ensure this potential health crisis is contained going forward. Rayon Lakingun, National MTV News.
Border provinces West and East Sepik have united to provide resources to protect communities against COVID-19. Chairman of the Interagency Working Committee, Timothy Teklan, says the risk is high, and he has called on the national government to declare a state of emergency along the PNG Indonesian border. Political leaders of West Sepik have committed 500,000 kina toward awareness, containment, recovery, and other necessary plans to protect communities.
Following discussions in the past week, political leaders of West and East Sepik made commitments to support the Provincial Interagency Committee. Committee Chairman Timothy Teklan says in the past month, awareness has been made in communities along the PNG Indonesian border. With confirmed cases reported in Jayapura province, Teklan has urged the national government to declare a call-out or SOE along the border. He says this is crucial for surveillance, compliance and monitoring crossovers.
Appealing to the national government to at least to beef up our border operations. Basically, our provincial committee was thinking that if we were to operate a normal system of operation, we will not beat the illegal entries and all this. So our committee made a recommendation that the national government should consider a call-out or SOE for basically 2 or 3 months until we are prepared to cater for the containment of the virus.
With West Sepik having 7 official border entry points, there are already reports of traditional border crossing, a concern for national leaders. Aita Pelumi, Vanimo Green, Nuku and Telefomin have all committed 500,000 kina each towards the fight against the threats of COVID-19.
Given the calamity of this particular virus, it is important for us to pool our resources together. While the national government is doing its bit to support the national response team, we as both border provinces, we feel that it is necessary for us to identify resources and support our provincial teams to participate.
Sister province East Sepik has also come on board to safeguard its people with 500,000. Governor Allen Baird says a similar working committee has been established. Governor Baird is also concerned as East Sepik people also travel to West to trade gold, vanilla and other produce. He wants all business transactions to be seized given the seriousness of the COVID-19 threat.
So as a result, we are taking these actions to try to minimize and hopefully get our own people to stop the business transactions that are going on the border. If they can stop it for maybe 30 days, 60 days or something like that, until we are confident that the virus on the other side is being managed well.
Jack Lopave Jr., National MTV News.
Air Niugini will cease carrying passengers on all inbound international flights starting midnight this Saturday. State Enterprise Minister Sasindran Mutavel made this announcement in a media conference this afternoon. The minister said PNG citizens living overseas and willing to travel to the country will be allowed. However, they are subjected to 14 days self-isolation upon arrival. He further added that exceptions will be made for emergency personnel, diplomatic staff and medical experts required by the government. He said it is not practical to stop inbound flights altogether, as it will jeopardize the fight against the pandemic and put the country in danger. The ban will be in place for 7 days with ongoing review and is subject to change.
There will be some exceptions. Passengers will be limited to critical emergency personnel, diplomatic staffs or medical experts and advisors who are required by our government, Papua New Guinea, to maintain our capacity to fight the coronavirus. Essential air staffs also will be allowed to travel, especially our air crews and also our pilots, to continue to serve our domestic routes. You know, it's not practical to stop completely all our inbound flights, as it would jeopardize the fight against the pandemic and put all our Papua New Guineans in unacceptable danger. Our citizens who are currently in overseas, they will be allowed to return home during this period. However, they all will be subject to a 14 days self-isolation period on their return. All of these limited inbound passengers will be fully screened and tested prior to check-in. And screening will again be done at our Jackson's International Airport prior to arrival. They will also be required to self-isolate prior to travel to PNG, and there will be no restrictions on passengers wishing to leave PNG.
The NCD has set up a provincial task force team allowing relevant authorities and outlined directives it will take as preventative measures against COVID-19. NCD Governor Parkop said the capital city is pandemic ready as isolation facilities have been set up at the Port Moresby General Hospital and Taurama Military Clinic. The NCD task force team will be working at a provincial level but under the leadership of Health Minister Jelta Wong.
The task force team, comprising of medical and police officers, were assembled today to prepare for the possible outbreak of COVID-19 if a case is confirmed in Port Moresby.
On behalf of NCDC administration, we stand prepared administratively to give any assistance and cooperation, and we will treat this with the highest attention. And upon advice from NCD, PHA and NDOH and Governor, we are prepared to assist.
With more suspected cases being reported in Moroben Western provinces, the demand by the public to access accurate information from relevant authorities has been a challenge in the last couple of weeks. Today, NCD Governor Parkop, after setting up the task force team, announced control measures the Commission will take as preventative measures against the coronavirus.
We are seriously thinking of closing the markets, but if we can do social distancing in the market, the vendors are 2 meters apart, perhaps we can keep on leaving the market open. But, you know, this is a decision that we will have to take some time to consider, because it has a direct impact on the livelihood of our people, on the economy as well. Some people have been, asking us to ban all these international flights, close down the airport, close down the seaport, and myself in particular have been slow in responding to that, and some people thinking that we are not taking this issue seriously. What I want to assure everyone is that we have taken all measures to ensure that the virus and the pandemic does not come to PNG. And we have been successful up to now.
The national government has declared COVID-19 as not only a health issue, but a national security threat that will affect our developing economy. Police officers will be engaged in the awareness phase in NCD to enforce directives decided upon by the NCD task force team, like social distancing and staying away from crowded areas are enforced.
Our duty is mainly to ensure that there is normalcy in the community. When panic breaks out, we expect a lot of opportunities to take advantage and to disrupt the normal activities in the city. We'll have mad rushes to the shops. We'll have chaos when this sort of panic comes about. So our appeal to the community, like carrying on from where the governor has stated, is that let's not panic. This situation is handled by the health authorities, and it is they are the lead agency. We're here to adhere to whatever instructions they give.
The police force will see additional manpower assistance from the Australian Federal Police, and they're expected to work closely with St. John Ambulance when medical officers respond to suspected cases. So far, the death toll of people dying from COVID-19 has reached over 8,800 worldwide. About 4,700 deaths have been reported outside of mainland China. As of this morning, the coronavirus has spread to 156 countries since December 2019 and infected nearly 219,000 people.
We're very supportive of the initiatives that have been taken up. I guess for us, we are yet to announce any cases yet in Port Moresby or in Papua New Guinea. So that nearly puts us on the front foot, because everyone throughout the globe have gone through the experience of dealing with this. So we have the advantage of now looking at what other countries are doing and trying to customize a way we move forward with minimizing this pandemic when it does reach our shores.
But while the debate by Papua New Guineans on whether the virus can survive in a tropical environment continues, health specialists say the virus affects the human respiratory system, and children are the most vulnerable.
This particular virus, when it comes in, one of the things, it makes you very sick. It releases what they call toxins or certain products in the body system. So that's why the immune system of the body actually give protection. I support the government in promoting healthy living. If you're healthy, this virus, you will fight it off if you are going to catch it.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
This is EMTV National News. We'll be back with more after the break. Welcome back to the news. The members of the public in Leh have called on the government to be mindful when disseminating results of COVID-19 cases in the country, as it was relayed yesterday through the mainstream and social media. The way it was delivered through a press release by the health minister on a probable case instilled fear in everyone, according to a law and order committee member of Leh's Boundary Road community. Some residents of Erico said since the developed countries are treating the COVID-19 cases with importance, the government, health department and individuals should also treat the matter seriously and with care.
The members of the public in Leh came forward and told MTV News that the probable case of COVID-19 message that was relayed by the Health Minister Jalta Wong yesterday has caused a lot of panic and confusion among them. They were uncertain of what to do next. This follows public statement that was made by the Health Minister that went viral on social media and was broadcasted through the mainstream media yesterday.
Uset online istablo border na wagen display check. People out by entering display country blow me blow. M1 blow big blow. Think to me blow citizen got. Me blow got big blow bel long government.
Papua New Guinea one by developing country. So the actions taken by the authorities lo all not taking good lamania rejection support them come inside. Islam so how vulnerable we are. So all countries, all infected countries like Korea, Greece, China, they are taking things seriously. Now all total shutdown low. All universities, all schools, all shopping malls, blow now. It's like and they are taking things seriously. But those elections believe me. I'm saying we are not taking things seriously.
Yesterday, just after midday, Health Minister Jalta Wong announced that health authorities investigated a probable case of COVID-19 in PNG. The case was of a 45-year-old man who arrived in Port Moresby on the 13th of March and began showing symptoms of a flu and fever 24 hours later. The man traveled from Barcelona through to Singapore, Port Moresby, then to Lae.
All mining companies. Okay, expatriates bongol, like break time, all must dog and Salem go overseas, all must stop within PNC. Now, Prime Minister must stop him international flights.
Suppose your government, you think the economy, you allow him all foreign, comes in the country. Now, today, currently, you can look at Muslim. People are filled with fear.
At about past 8 p.m., the health minister then released a statement saying the result received was negative. Wong's official statement came minutes after the Prime Minister's post on his official Facebook account of the probable case being negative.
Walking good talk straight. Lo mi plan now public mi plan stop. Plan ti giaman na iwok lo kama na mi plan get up. All get up now mi plan round. All money no sit down good. All in no kai good. Now this la time.
Also, you remember it's a day. You must think now. You must turma totog. No, just turma totog nothing. Because you turma totog now. So people now stop for it. The coronavirus because they may have one disease there.
While some residents of Lae called on individuals to follow the preventive measures set by the health authorities, some said there should be more awareness on coronavirus. Julie Badui, OA, National EMTV News, Lae.
Schools in urban areas will be the first schools to be shut down if and when there is a positive case of coronavirus in Papua New Guinea. The statement was made by Education Minister Joseph Yopi. The minister also urged schools to practice good personal hygiene and carry out more awareness on COVID-19.
I know you haven't been to Italy.
Clean hands often with sanitizers, wipes and soap. Cough and sneeze in your bent elbow, not your hands. Avoid touching eyes, nose and mouth. Avoid close contact with someone who is sick and clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. These are the directions given by the World Health Organization and the National Department of Health to reduce the risk of being infected by COVID-19. With the pandemic COVID-19 moving around the world, Minister of Education Joseph Yopi is urging schools throughout Papua New Guinea, especially primary schools, to concentrate on practicing good hygiene.
If the virus hits PNG, we are prepared to close down the schools for the sake of the spreading of the virus. If there's a rise in the people affected, obviously the schools will be shut down. We'll be focusing more on the urban schools because that's where the movement of people are.
The minister says the government is looking at making funds available to stop and prevent the spread of this virus, providing sanitizers, disinfectants and masks, but these things are running out of stock.
From what I know is that sanitizers, face masks and all these protective equipment are running out fast. So we should be thinking of actually stocking it up now for the good of our children and our nation. But where to order it is a big question because it's running out fast running out. So we'll have to find out where we're going to order them.
The coronavirus emerged earlier this year after Parliament passed the 2020 national budget. Yopi says COVID-19 was not planned for, but the national government is committed and focused.
I think the government is focused on that and they're going to look at allocating funds. They've already allocated money or some funds to the health department to fight coronavirus. And I'm sure when we ask for some funds, the government will look at ways to find some money somewhere to help us control the virus spreading out in all the schools.
Michelle Stephen, National EMTV News.
The PNG University of Technology's 52nd graduation has been deferred as a precautionary measure due to the coronavirus pandemic. Vice-Chancellor Dr. Ora Renagi said the academic board and management's decision comes after the national government's call to avoid public gatherings during this time. They have not determined a date for the ceremony. However, graduates will be sent their certificates and transcripts through email and mail.
And they prepared a budget.
According to Vice-Chancellor Dr. Ora Renagi, the Unitec graduation would attract over 5,000 people from all over the country, something he says will pose a serious risk for students, staff and those in attendance in light of the coronavirus pandemic. Because of this, the academic board and the senior executive management have decided to defer the graduation date indefinitely.
The board's decision is also in adherence to the national government instructions to all people to avoid public gatherings during this period of high level of alertness due to the coronavirus pandemic.
As part of the university's response to the COVID-19 alerts, a committee was set up in January. They are currently working on an isolation facility for the university in case suspected cases are identified within the campus. There are also plans to monitor students, staff, residents, and outsiders moving on and off campus.
So the options whether we should continue or not, it's we will have to assess the situation on the ground and then we will make a decision.
We will continue classes, but very carefully observing what is happening around us.
Dr. Renagi said the COVID-19 pandemic calls for special care and restrictions this year and is calling on students and parents to work together to lessen the damage that can be caused by the pandemic. Following the deferral of Unitec's 52nd graduation this year, Vice-Chancellor Dr. Ora Renagi says a new date is yet to be determined. However, the academic board has resolved to have the transcripts and certificates sent to graduates via email and mail. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now looking at our NAS Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2925 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.2850 US, $0.4908 Australian dollars, $0.2536 euro, and 30.16 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee closed higher, cocoa and copper closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, while copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 1,338.40 points lower. The ASX is trading at 27.80 points lower. The All Ordinaries is trading at 45.30 points lower. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you news making headlines overseas. Welcome back to Thursday's news. Allowing people from rural areas to be a part of policy development was a key aspect of PNG One Nation Party's convention. The party's General Secretary stating that the party, having only 500 members after the national general elections, had seen member numbers increase to 703, with a majority registering from the rural areas. The convention also closing today with its finalized party policies.
The 3 days convention ending with a prayer blessing the drafted policies. With an increase of membership, the party executives pleased with the input from people in the rural area in Eastern Highlands province in the development of the party policies.
I've seen so many people from the rural areas were consulted, only directly participate, only give input all in policy making. And PNG One Nation Party will continue to ensure that people are consulted, their views are taken, their opinions are taken, time you may come up in policy.
General Secretary John Akamo stating that going forward the party is looking to increase members and disseminate information of their policies.
Papua New Guinea, so that
our ideologies and party policies has to be driven into the mindsets of the ordinary citizens of Papua New Guinea, so that they will understand what is the future plan for PNG One Nation Party as far as the party is concerned.
The drafted party policies are refined from its main 4 key policies on economic empowerment through agriculture and livestock, natural resource management, basic service delivery, and effective public service and legislative reform.
PNG One Nation Party is different. We want to be seen as an institution where all like-minded people, they have issues, they see issues around the country, and they contribute to the formulation of these policies. And this will be the foundation of this party, and we'll carry these policies into any formation of government. And this will be the foundation of the party. This is how PNG One Nation Party will go in the long run.
The party will now be looking to set up its regional centers in the country to disseminate information on the party in the hopes to increase membership and refine their research of intending candidates going into the national general elections. Adelaide Siraks Kari, National, EMTV News, Goroka.
Police in Goroka province say they need the support of the provincial and local level governments to build their capacity. Eastern End Assistant Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commander Joseph Tondop, says they urgently need a provincial police barracks. Vasinata Yama files his report from Mount Hagen.
Goroka province does not have a police barracks, no mobile squad group, and just a few police houses. Its daily crime occurrences are drug, homebrew and alcohol-related matters. Many times people take matters into their own hands and lives and properties are lost.
Weekend on drinks partner on money time front on JVT. Now in the good plan of all this leadership by supposed to kissing this like big police is working war, but you plan looking up. In 2 days, less than 2 days, you'll be losing life.
Eastern End Deputy Commander ACP Joseph Tondop said the request to build a new barracks is not new. He made the same request when he was former PPC Goroka some 3 years back. Tondop said police always respond to crime incidents late due to reasons such as lack of manpower, no vehicles and such to tackle daily crimes.
Community by God, still by God problem yet. Over the servicing guy by still no got good appreciation now by police by advocate.
Tondop urged local MPs and the provincial government to work together to take ownership of law and order to minimize crime in the province.
Still our community, you will not still take ownership of law and order. You will still need to understand the process of law.
He said communities in Goroka do not help police in surrendering suspects to make policing effective. Tondop said as a new province, it needs to build a police capacity to be able to tackle daily crimes. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
A joint task force team will be set up by the National Department of Health, Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary and St. John Ambulance to come up with countermeasures to the coronavirus. Michelle Stephen with the details.
Yesterday, Health Minister Jalta Wong made an announcement about a probable COVID-19 case. Following several tests, the results all came back negative. Police Minister Brian Kramer says the public should remain calm and be assured if there is an announcement to be made on the coronavirus, it will be made. Kramer further said rather than wait for confirmed positive case to arrive in PNG, in partnership with the Joint Task Force team, aggressive approaches will be taken in reducing the impact of COVID-19.
And under this partnership will involve members of RPNGC and members of the Health Department putting together teams that will be able to respond in real time and a rapid response into the communities.
The police minister also says the strategy will be focused on self-quarantine.
If there's a case within the community, they will call in, a team will be sent, carry out an assessment, confirming that there's a probable case or highly probable case. Highly probable, obviously that individual will be taken to quarantine. A potential or possible case, Tests will be taken, and then if confirmed, that person will go into quarantine.
Kramer says the PNG health system is not capable of dealing with an epidemic or cluster of COVID-19 in PNG. The idea now is to make public more informed of what COVID-19 is. Health Minister Jalta Wong says there will be a rapid response team in place. In partnership with St. John's Ambulance, call centers will be built up in centers throughout PNG. The minister also commented on the case yesterday, saying it was negative.
The COVID-19 case, it was a negative, but the patient is still in quarantine. He's graciously, he'll stay in quarantine until all his symptoms have been cured.
The health minister says face masks are ready to be distributed throughout the provinces this week. Acting Health Secretary Dr. Paisan Dakulala says the step up is important, especially relating to what NDOH already has in the action plans.
We are stepping up to ensure that one is in Port Moresby in the next few days, and then eventually we extend it to Medang, and that's because there's expertise or experience in those three settings with Institute of Medical Research.
Dr. Dakulala says plans are in place to build testing centers in Port Moresby and Medang to complement the one in Goroka. St. John's Ambulance Commissioner Matthew Cannon says St. John's will be doing everything it can to prioritize calls if and when the virus is found in the country.
If you are worried or you have symptoms of COVID, it's important that in the first instance you call the coronavirus hotline, and that number is 1-800-0200. You should only call 111 if the patient or the person is very ill.
Prime Minister James Marape has also confirmed through the Health Minister that international flights coming into the country will be closed as of Sunday, 22nd March 2020. Michelle Stephen, National EMTV News.
Trukai Sports is next. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The SPPNG Hunters returned to Port Moresby yesterday after the Queensland Rugby League suspended the Interest Super Cup. The team agreed to remain in Brisbane this week ahead of their round 2 clash against the Townsville Blackhawks.
After arriving at the Jacksons International Airport, players and officials have been required to observe medical protocols and procedures that have been put in place for the team. Under the supervision of Dr. Gideon Candino and Dr. James Naipau, they carried out necessary checks when the team landed.
The team will be further kept in isolation at the accommodation, and during the period, the doctors will monitor and carry out appropriate testings before the players are cleared.
The team was supposed to return on Monday after their round 1 win against the Magpies, but they remained in Brisbane due to the Australian federal government's announcement on measures taken to control the spread of COVID-19. All Queensland Cup matches have been suspended till the 5th of June. It isn't certain competition will resume on that date.
There's no guarantee that it'll start on that date. It's a date that we are working towards, and we hope the situation improves, but we'll be closely monitoring the situation, and as the situation evolves, we will be able to make the appropriate decisions there and then.
PNG RFL is monitoring the situation in consultation with relevant authorities and key partners and stakeholders. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Still in Rugby League, following the recent announcement by the PNG RFL on the cancellation of all Rugby League competitions, current Rugby League events in Port Moresby, such as the Pre-Season Nines and JT Cup, have also been cancelled due to the global outbreak of the coronavirus and the decision by PNG RFL to stop all Rugby League happenings in the country. Godwin Eki reports.
The coronavirus has affected sporting events in certain parts of the world that have been cancelled for indefinite periods to control the spread of the coronavirus in areas of mass gatherings such as the sports facilities. On the home front, it was only yesterday that PNG Rugby Football League chairman Sandy Saka in Port Moresby announced that all rugby league competitions around the country would be stopped for an indefinite period. With that being said, affiliates in the country have no excuses but to follow PNG Rugby Football League's decision to cease all competitions in the country. Two competitions currently scheduled to run this month have been cancelled, which are the JT Cup and Port Moresby Pre-Season 9's competition, as advised by PNG Rugby Football League. Chairman Saka says it was a collaborative decision from all franchises and affiliated leagues for the safety of the players, officials and other significant bodies. In the meantime, PNG Rugby Football League has urged the rugby league fraternity to take precautionary measures and follow simple medical instructions to avoid the global epidemic of the coronavirus. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
More stories after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The PNG Football Association has suspended all its activities for 30 days to combat the spread of coronavirus should it make it on shore. Following ongoing consultations with President John Capinato and his executive committee members and the NSL board, they have decided to suspend all PNGFA activities and